Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Wednesday night, only here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on YouTube. Those of you watching Johnny G on the live stream, welcome to the July 19th, 2023 All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show, featuring original vinyl 45s out of Johnny G's collection. All soul records out of my collection opened up tonight with the San Remo Strings, a studio group from Detroit, Michigan, and a number of the members also played in the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Others were members of the Motown backing band, the Funk Brothers. They had 4 singles on Rick Tick Records. Then one final release came out on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Gordy label. That was the one we just heard there from April 1967. The San Remo Strings on Gordy Records. It's called Festival Time. Well, that's what it is here on this Wednesday evening here from 9 to midnight. Usually do about a half hour overtime. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's open up with the vocal portion. This group from Dallas, Texas. Got some listeners from Dallas. I think I do, at least from the state of Texas I do. And this group would have 3 releases on the Smash label. This was their first and didn't do well for them. This bubbled under on the Billboard chart at number 130, but it was number 23 on WAME in Miami, Florida. We go to August of 1966. We just heard Festival Time. Well, these are the festivals on the Smash label, and it's what Johnny G features here every Wednesday night. The song is called Music. There we opened up with the Festivals, August 1966 release. That's their first of 3 on the Smash record label, what Johnny G gives you every Wednesday evening. Music is the name of the tune. They would have others on Blue Rock, Gordy, and the Colossus label. Let's go to this next 45. This gal is from Yazoo, Mississippi. She was a member of the Ikeettes back in 1961, but she went solo in 1962. Her real name is Josephine Armstead, but she first recorded as Dina Johnson. And I have another one of hers on the Wild Deuce label, but this is on the Simpson label from November of 1965. Let's give a listen to Dina Johnson, a.k.a. Josephine Armstead, on the Simpson label. It's called I'm a Sad Girl.
clear. I'll have a smile on my face if I happen to see the boy any place. I didn't let him know when he let me go how much it hurt me so. But I'm a sad girl, that's what I am. I'm a sad girl, 'cause my heart's in a jam. I didn't want to let the boys see me cry, but I'm a sad girl. I still think about all the good times that we once knew. Oh, and every time I do, let me tell you, I feel so blue. Now it was not my fault, no, no, the boy just didn't love me no more. I tell everyone I've been having fun, he didn't hurt me no. But I'm a, oh, I've got to admit that I'm a sad girl, 'cause my baby called me quick that I'm a sad girl. Oh, my baby told me only this morning he didn't love me no more. You know that's why I'm a sad girl. Sad girl. Oh, you know I'm a sad girl. Yes, I'm a sad girl.
November 1965 release there for Dina Johnson. Dina Johnson on the Simpson record label. I'm a Sad Girl is the name of the tune. Of course, her name, Josephine Armstead. She would later marry Melvin Collins. Together they formed the Giant label, and also a writing team, wrote a lot of great records. We'll feature more during the show tonight, written by her. She co-wrote a lot of the great tunes here. Let's continue here, and let's go to this group out of Detroit, Michigan. First recording for the Chex label back in 1962. Releases followed on Jubilee and Old Town Records, and they did two for American Arts, and this is their first, a tune written by Duke Browner. It features Eddie Union on lead. This bubbled under at number 117 on the Billboard chart, but was a big number one record if you were listening on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. We go to August 1964. These are the volumes on American Arts. It's called Gotta Give Her Love.
For a start, you gotta give her love. You gotta give her love. You gotta give her love. Give her love. You gotta give her love. I'm telling you, you gotta give her love. Now if you want her to be happy and you want her to stay, treat her kind and gentle, yeah, each and every day. You gotta give her love. You gotta give her love. You gotta give her love. Give her love. You gotta give her love. I'm telling you, you gotta give her love. Now, go find the girl left you behind and give her love and peace of mind. That's the only way you can win her heart back again. You gotta give her love. You gotta give her love. You gotta give her love, give her love. You gotta give her love.
August 1964, there for the volumes, our first of two on the American Arts record label. Gotta Give Her Love. That's Eddie Union on lead. He has that high falsetto voice. You might recognize his voice on their first release, I Love You, they did back in 1962 on the Chex label. They have other releases that followed this on Twirl, also Impact, and the Karen label. As we continue here, up next, a female singer from Louisville, Kentucky, but she was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. She would have 9 releases on Joe Kolsky's Diamond label, Diamond Records, out of New York City, and that was between 1966 and 1969. Let's give a spin to her 4th release, probably most desirable 45, arranged by Renee Hall, produced by Bill Justice and Phil Cal. This is from September of 1967. Her name is Ruby Winters. Ruby Winters on the Diamond label. The song is called one word. It's called Better.
Better to be a poor man's lover than a plaything for a rich boy. Better to be everything to someone than just somebody's toy. Better to have somebody love you for what you are, not for what he can get. Better to be an honest woman than an expensive bitch. Better to know he'll be there waiting in the evening when you need him. Money won't buy a good man's kind of loving, so be careful how you treat him. It takes a while to find the right man, but when you do, then you'll understand that it's better to be a poor man's joy than a rich man's toy.
Money won't buy a good man's kind of loving, so be careful how you treat it.
Oh, it takes a while to find the right man, but when you do, then you'll understand that it's better to be a poor man's joy than a rich man's toy. Oh, take it from me, you'll see a part-time love brings only misery, and it's better to be a man's whole world than it's sometime girl. Don't wanna be a sometime girl. No, no, no. I'd rather be a poor man's lover. Yes, I would. Better to be. Now, baby, belong to a poor man. Any day.
September 1967 release there for Ruby Winters. That's her 4th release on the Diamond label. Have to agree with Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's her best single there. A song entitled Better is the name of the tune. That one probably sells, that one there in demand, I guess, from all her singles. I found that out in the wild for like 10 cents. Used to come up with a lot of the Diamonds back when I was in high school, when I used to shop around here in the neighborhood in other towns here looking for 45s. And here's one. Well, I didn't pay a lot of money for this next 45, but this group, some of you that listen to my Saturday night show may know this group from Brooklyn, New York, best known for their early 60s doo-wop songs like Gloria and Unchained Melody and Extraordinary Girl and others. But in late 1965, they had a very soulful sound, and this one came out on 2 labels. I think first on this label that I'm featuring, the Red Boy label, and then a little later on Sandbag Records, and it features Vito Balsamo on lead. We go to December of 1965 for Vito and the Salutations. It's on the Red Boy record label. The name of the tune is called I Best Be Going. That's the sound of Vito and the Salutations. Vito Balsamo on lead there. Featured it on the Red Boy label from December of 1965. I'd Best Be Going is the name of the tune. Johnny G not going, not until at least midnight here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on YouTube. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell for all notifications to get notifications when Johnny G goes live. And we go to this request, last minute request for listener Paul Greco. Paul Greco tuned in Philadelphia. I featured this gal from Yucca. I always mess up on this. Atascadero, California. That's where she's from. Last week I played her third release on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla record label, song called When I'm Gone. I think I played the flip side too, Let Me Be Good to You, nice cover of that Miracles tune. But here's her 8th of 9 on the Tamla label. This tune, written by Frank Wilson and R. Dean Taylor, only made it up to number 93 on Cashbox, 69 on Billboard, was number 21 on the Billboard R&B chart, but a big number one record. This was number one on WSOK in Savannah, Georgia. This is going out to listener Paul Greco from March 67, Brenda Holloway. Brenda Holloway on Tamla Records. It's called Just Look What You've Done. This is for Paul. That's going out to Philly listener Paul Greco. That is the sound of Brenda Holloway, March 1967. That's on the Tamla label. Just Look What You Have Done. There's some clips of her lip-syncing to that. I don't know if it's Where the Action Is or Casey Kasem's show out on the West Coast, but somewhere she's doing that. And it's in color, too. Of course, she started recording back in 1962 for Bob Keene's Donna record label. She's got a nice tune. It's called Echo, one of her early releases. Johnny Johnny G here on a Wednesday. Let's continue here. Here's a 45. This is my 45 I bought. My original 45. I purchased this in the summer of 1970. I was in junior high school at the time, and this group is from Washington, D.C. Actually, they're a trio. They are Tony Boyd, Archie Powell, and Billy Shorter. Collectively, they were known as the Presidents. They had 4 releases on the Sussex label, and this is their second and was the group's biggest hit. This is my hit for the night, although I might have another one, not as high as this one. But this is arranged by Van McCoy. This was number 11 on the Billboard chart, number 7 on Cashbox, number 5 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 2 on WWRL here in New York City. And this is from August of 1970, Touch of the 70s for Santi. I know he knows this tune. These are the Presidents on the Sussex label. It's called 5, 10, 15, 20, parentheses, 25 years of love, going out to all the couples out there. I'm sure it's more than 25. Yeah, memories there. I bought that. I was 12 years old when I bought that 45, The Presidents. August 1970 release. That's on the Sussex record label. That is their, what did I say that was? That was their second release on the Sussex label. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 Years of Love. I remember hearing it on WABC when I used to tune into that station. And they had, that was their biggest hit, but they had a fifth single on Sussex. They were known as Trilogy, and later in the 70s they recorded as, what is it, Anacostia, I think they were called. I bet you I have those records too in my collection. Anyway, and Miami Santi says that Marvin Gaye recorded that, but Motown never released it. It was on the Marvin Gaye CD. That'd be interesting hearing him sing that song. But anyway, let's continue here. Here's a request for our UK listener, Tony Crosby, in our YouTube chat room. This gal was born in Chicago, but she moved to Detroit, Michigan. She was a member of the Meditation Singers. Her real name, Lori Lee, but she recorded as Laura Lee. Now, Tony requested her debut single, came out on Ed Wingate's Rick Tick record label, so we're going to send this one out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room, January 1966. Laura Lee on the Rick Tick label. It's called To Win Your Love. This is for Tony.
To turn you around, weaken you, bring your resistance down. For lives like this, I'm taking every risk to win your heart, win your heart. Oh, the world got you hide behind, I'll penetrate. Nothing you can do can make me stop or wait. The more I dream of you, the more I plan to do to win your heart, to win your heart. Oh, am I barking up the wrong tree? Are you too far out of reach? I'm so set on having you. Want you for myself, I want my brand on to get control of you, to win your heart, to win your heart. Oh, the world got you hide behind, oh, penetrate. Nothing you can do can make me stop or wait. The more I the more I said to do to win your heart, baby, to win your heart. Oh, I've got to find a way, got to turn you around. Weaken you, bring your resistance down. Oh, got to find a way.
That's going out to Tony Crosby listening in the UK at this early morning time. That is Laura Lee from January 1966 on the Rick Tick record label. To Win Your Love is the name of the tune. Now, she has later releases, I think, a Chess and Cotillion, and also I have one by her early 70s on the Hot Wax record label. Hopefully Johnny G keeping it hot for you here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. Let's continue here for this next cool tune. This quartet from Asbury Park, New Jersey, first started recording on the Selsum label in 1965 as the Uniques. When they signed with MGM Records, they had 2 releases for MGM, but they changed their name to the Broadways, and this is the B-side to their second release on MGM. It did charted number 13 on WJ, that's got to be Wait, it can't be JOM. It can't be. That's got to be JMO. That's got to be WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. It features Billy Brown on lead from August 1966. I love this record. The Broadways on the MGM label. It's called You Just Don't Know.
Just can't be found.
August 1966 release there for a group called the Broadways. The Broadways, Billy Brown on lead. That's on the MGM record label. You Just Don't Know is the name of that tune. I have to admit that Dave the Rave of Relics and Rarities, he turned me on to that tune there. He is in our YouTube chat room. That is a great record there. Billy Brown, of course, would later join the Moments on the Stang label, and in the 1980s was a member of Ray Goodman and Brown. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s. Hope you're digging on these cool soul records. Let's go to this gal from Detroit, Michigan. Now, her debut single came out on the Giant label, which would be picked up by RCA, and that's How I Have It, a tune written by Nick Ashford and Andrew Mike Terry. And this charted number 21 on WCHB in Detroit, Michigan. And she would continue to record two more for RCA Records. But I think these records are in demand. A Mark Speck, you can tell me yes or no. I think this is one that the dancers would like. Tony, let me know if you like this record here. March 1966, Lorraine Chandler on the RCA record label. It's called What Can I Do?
You can't sit around nursing your wounds.
March 1966 release there for Lorraine Chandler. Lorraine Chandler on RCA Records. I have it on RCA. First came out on the Giant label. What Can I Do? That's her first of 3 on RCA. I think I have another one coming up later in the show by her. I think I did. I think I plugged it in somewhere here. Let's go back to Philadelphia now with this request for listener Bob Cruz. Now, this group's debut single came out on Jerry Ross's Cheryl label. It was in 1961, was their only, I guess, national charted single. It was called It's Unbelievable. That was their first of 2 on the Cheryl label. In 1962, they had a single on Crossfire. I think that was their next one, which I do have. And it was issued again in 64 I think it was Guidon Records. It was called Fabulous Cars and Diamond Rings. That was the song. Probably they issued it again because they had a release out on A-Rock Records from 64 called For the Love of Money. But Bob requested the group's final single, and it came out on the Jet label, J-E-T-T Records. This label owned by a member of the group, William McDougall. He owned the label. It features Jackie Marshall on lead. This is from 1965. These are the Larks. Jackie Marshall co-wrote it with the label owner and other group member William McDougall. The Larks on the Jet label for listener Bob Cruz. It's called Love Me True.
She don't love you anymore. She has found someone new. Love me, love me, love me true. Love me. You know my love is true.
That's 1965, the final release for the Larks. The Larks from Philadelphia. That's going out to listener Bob Cruz. That's on the Jet, J-E-T-T Records out of Philadelphia. Love Me True is the name of the tune. Jackie Marshall on lead for that one. Let's continue now. This girl group started out as background singers and dancers to the Ike and Tina Turner Revue, and that presence allowed them to have their own releases and on a few different labels, Atco, trio, modern, but the trio, the original trio, left the Ike and Tina Turner wanting to record as the new Ikeettes, but because of their legal issues, they had to change their name. They changed it to the Mirettes. The Mirettes. They signed with Mirwood Records, and for 2 releases. This is their first release. They were a trio: Jesse Smith, Robbie Montgomery, and lead singer Vanetta Fields. Let's go to March of 1966 for the Mirettes. The Mirettes on Mirwood. It's called He's All Right With Me.
Down just because he doesn't happen to dig your style. Don't talk about him just because he's the type that's kind of quiet and shy. Oh, he's all right with me. Let me tell you now, all right with me. And I'm gonna keep loving him, no matter what you say. I'm gonna love him anyway. You can't turn me against my baby. You can't turn me against my baby. I know the reason why you're telling everybody he's such a spaz. You've been trying to beat my time, but you can't get nowhere. Oh, all right with me. He's all right with me. All right with me. And I'm gonna keep loving him, no matter what you say. I'm gonna love him anyway. You can't turn me against my baby. You can't turn me against my baby. Oh, all right with me. He's all right with me. All right with me. And I'm gonna keep loving him, no matter what you say. I'm gonna love him anyway. You can't turn me against my baby. You can't turn me against my baby. You can't turn me away against my baby. You can't turn me against my baby. I don't care what you say, no, against my baby.
March 66 release there. That's the first of 2 on the Mirwood label by the Mirettes. He's All Right With Me. Vanetta Fields on lead there. They have other releases on Review, on Minute, on Uni, on Zia, and I think I have them on Soul Fox. Johnny G spinning all these cool 45s. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a thumbs up on the YouTube chat. We're broadcasting simultaneously live on Oldies and More Radio here. Let's continue here for this next singer. He's from Dalton, Alabama. Had his debut single back in 1961 on the Columbia label. It was called Dancing Angel. It was actually a pretty cool doo-wop. I think he was about 10 or 11 years old when he recorded that. But let's move to August of 1965. Probably, 15 years old when he recorded this one for the Mercury folks. His real name is Lemmy Snell, Lemmesnell, Lemmy Snell, but he recorded as Lemmy Be Good, and this was his third and final release for the Mercury folks from August of 1965. Let's give a listen to Lemmy Be Good on Mercury Records. It's called I Can't Stop Myself.
Stop myself from thinking about you, baby. I can't stand the thought of being without you, baby. And oh,
can't stop myself. No, 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 can't stop myself now. Realize what you're doing to me. Give just anything to make you see. But I can tell you don't want to know. There's nothing more I can do. No, 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 I can't stop myself from loving you. I can't stop myself from wanting you, baby. I can't stop myself. No, no, can't stop myself now. No, no. And I can tell you don't want to know. There's nothing more I can do. No, no, I can't stop myself from loving you, and I can't stop myself from wanting you, baby. I can't stop myself. No, no, can't stop myself now. No, 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 can't stop myself. No, can't stop myself.
August 1965 release there for Let Me Be Good. Let Me Be Good, man. That one there on the Mercury label. That's his third and final single for Mercury. I Can't Stop Myself. You know, sometimes it's very difficult when you're bidding on 45s, especially if you're impulsive. And, you know, if you get into a bidding war with someone, you can bid up a record way more than it's worth. And that might have been what happened in that record to somebody I know, because I ended up buying his second copy. I think that was it, right? Am I right, mister? You know who I'm talking to, but I didn't have the record, but I got it at a reasonable price, much different than when you get impulsive to bid. I'm not that impulsive to do it. I mean, I have done it before, but I do have limits. Some people don't have limits. But anyway, let's continue here. Up next, a request for listener Adrian Viterbo. He's listening down in Mexico, and this group is out of Greenwood, South Carolina. Now, many of the members were graduates of Lander University. Others attended the University of Georgia, and they evolved from a group called the Pieces of Eight. The Pieces of Eight, and their first single came out on Dot in March of 1965 and totally bombed on them. But their second single, issued on the local For Sale label, started to take off. They would get Smash Records to pick it up, and it became a big hit for the group. Number 18 on Cashbox, number 17 on Billboard, and this was a big number one record on a number of stations. WTOB in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a WJIM in Lansing, Michigan, WIFE in Indianapolis, Indiana, WNOE in New Orleans, Louisiana, WTAC in Flint, Michigan, and KACY in Oakland, California. All number ones on those stations. Now, KC in Oxnard, not Oakland, Oxnard, California. And it's really a cover song. This song was first recorded by Dick Holler and the Holidays in 1963 on the Comet label. Now wait, this is a record. Well, that's what I meant. They did become the Pieces of Eight. I said they weren't from the Pieces of Eight. They became the Pieces of Eight. You are correct, Mark. This is from May of 1966. This is for Adrian, the Swinging Medallions. I don't even have the first press of this because the For Sale logo that you saw needs to be the small logo. That is the first press. This is when the record started already taking off and they were issuing it locally in the area of South Carolina. But anyway, this is for Adrian, the Swinging Medallions on For Sale Records. It's called Double Shot, but they don't have on here, Of My Baby's Love, for Adrian. I guess we're going to have to call that a hit. We're going to have to call that a hit. My second hit of the night there. There you go. That's going out to Adrian Viterbo, where I lost my place here. There you go. Adrian Viterbo from in our YouTube chat room. That's May 1966, the Swinging Medallions. It's on the For Sale record label. That is the big logo, so that's not the true first press. And it plays grainy, too, by the way. You can get a nice mint, although I don't think the smashes are on vinyl. They're styrene, even the promos there. But there you go. That's for Adrian. The Swinging Medallions, double shot. And it's, I think on the smash it says parentheses of my baby's love. But anyway, there you go here. Here's a record here. We go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for this next request. It's for listener Bob Cruz. Now, I drove up to, I think it's Washingtonville, New York. And I met Steve Bennett. He was a lawyer. I used to go pick up records at Louis Silvani's when he was in Dobbs Ferry, New York. I used to go in there, I think on Thursday night. So I'm in there, and Steve Bennett walks in, and he was dressed up in a suit. I think he was a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. So we were talking about collecting, and then Greg came in, and he brought me my records, and there's like a little gathering there. It was late. And he says, I got some doubles for sale or for trade. I'm looking for Tina records. So if you got any Tina records, and I did, I had a bunch of them. They were doubles. I brought them up with me. So I did a trade. I traded them. I forget what they were, but they're probably more expensive. I don't know. This record is not that common. But I did a trade with Steve Bennett, and he gave me this record out of his collection. And this group is out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it's by request for Bob Cruz. Not easy to find. This is on the Chelton label. And this is the intended A-side. It's a female lead with male backing. Her name is Joni Stewart. Joni Stewart. This came out in May of 1964. They're called the Trinells. Tranells. The Trinells on the Chelton label. And it's called Come On and Tell Me. The Trinells. This is for Bob.
Tell me, are you
As by request for Bob Cruz there, the Trinells, they're out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's on the Chelton label, May 1964. Come On and Tell Me is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a group out of Newark, New Jersey. This group consisted of Robert Ronnie, Robert Taylor, Bobby Chin, and Ozzie Black and Jerry White. Collectively, they were known as the Ambers, first recording for the Greasy label. I think that was early, late 50s or early 1960s. Their next two releases came out on Nuart and Verve. This was their fourth overall release. Came out on the Smash record label, written by group member Robert Taylor. Maybe he's the lead singer on this, I'm not sure. This is from August 1967. They're called the Ambers, Ambers, the Ambers on Smash. It's called Potion of Love.
I found a way to get your love, and if there's anyone else who's had this problem, I'm gonna show you what the potion's made of. You take 2 parts of sweetness, baby, 3 parts of trust in you, and put them all together. You got
There you go, Johnny G messing up here. Let me fix this here. I gotta fix this thing. I played the wrong side there. I played the side I wanted to play. Darn. There you go. I fixed it. Anyway, there you go. Those are the poets. No, those are the Ambers. I said the poets. The Ambers there, August 1967 on the Smash label. Potion of Love, kind of a trashed copy that plays decent on styrene there. Let's back up a little bit on that Trinells. Bob, I apologize. I played the wrong side for you. I normally have that side that I featured up to play, but when I gave Charlene the information, I was like, well, why is she saying that the male lead on the flip side? Because that was the A side, the female lead on the A side. Her name is Joni Stewart. Now the flip side features her brother Chet. Her brother is Chet Stewart, and he co-wrote this tune. I think you wanted the flip side here, so let's flip it over, and I think somebody mentioned it in chat. Lance mentioned it in chat too, and so did Daryl. I think mentioned the flip side here, so we'll play it for them too. Let's go back to that Trinells single. They're out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is on the Chelton label, May '64. The Trinells with The Music Swayed. May 1964. So there you go, Bob. I played both sides of that 45. That's for Bob Cruz, the Trinells there. The Music Swayed. That features the Joni Stewart's brother, Chet Stewart, on lead. May 64 on the Chelton label. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening here. And here, I was poking around one night late. Sometimes, you know, I go to bed late. I'm usually falling into bed around 4 o'clock in the morning. Not good when you have sleep apnea and you can't sleep anyway. But I was watching some videos, like Where the Action Is. I look for those videos. I think they're pretty cool, even though they're not singing live. And I was Dick Clark's Where the Action Is, and there was a performance. I've never seen it before. I mean, and I checked the song, and I didn't have the record, and I'm like, well, how come I don't have this record? I never heard it before. Not that it was a big hit for this person, but the lady had quantity. I think she had 3 or 4 of them. I think I told Dave the Rave about it. He ended up buying a copy too. I think they were $8. Buy it now, and they were all mint, and they were in like Liberty sleeves, whatever. But she lip-synced this on Where the Action Is. Her name is Carolyn Daye. And the interesting thing is the promos of this came out as Now and then the stock copies came out as Every Now and Then. So I don't know, but she had an earlier release on the Challenge label. But this was her first of 3 on the Liberty label from February '68. Let's give it a spin here. Carolyn Daye, D-A-Y-E. Carolyn Daye on Liberty Records. It's called Every Now and Then.
Baby, don't ever say goodbye. Oh no, baby, baby, don't you ever make me cry. Ever now and then you see somebody who you think is the boy who's meant for you. Ever now and then your heart says take a chance, don't let him get away, away, don't let him get away. Yeah. Ever since the day I saw you standing there, somehow I knew that you were lonely too. All at once you walked right over, said hello, and my heart cried, oh no, don't ever let him go. 'Cause every time you hold me, I feel deep inside you need me, and your love is right for me. Every time I think about those lonely nights, my heart cries out, oh no, don't ever let me go. Baby, don't ever say goodbye. Oh no, baby, baby, don't you ever make me cry. Yeah, don't you know I need your loving? Yeah, I need your loving in the morning time. I need your loving, yeah, all the time. But don't you ever leave me. I need your loving every day, every night, day, all the time. Don't you ever leave me, oh yeah. Oh, I need your loving.
February 66 release there for Carolyn Daye. Carolyn D-A-Y-E. Carolyn Daye on the Liberty label. Every now and then. Every now and then Johnny G plays 45's. Yes, I do. We're here on a Wednesday evening from 9 to midnight spinning 45's out of my collection. Let's continue here. This is a request for UK listener Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. Now, this singer previously was the lead of Rochelle and the Candles. You may know their hit from 1961. It was called Once Upon a Time. Came out on the Swinging record label. They had other releases also on Swinging, but he went solo in 63 with releases on Swinging and also Challenge and Magnum and this label that I'm featuring, Bob Keene's Bronco label. The tune co-written and arranged by Barry White. This is his first of two on the Bronco label. We'll send this one out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. August 66, Johnny Wyatt. Johnny Wyatt on the Bronco label. It's called This Thing Called Love for Tony.
I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it when I'm all alone. Love is getting next to me. I can't rest. Oh, I can't get no sleep. It's got me tossing, turning, brings fever
That's going out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. He's listening in the wee hours of the morning over in the UK there. That's Johnny Wyatt, his first of two on the Bronco label, August 66. This thing called Love, unfortunately, if you have the promo of this 45, it's the same song on both sides. The stock copy, the light blue copy, that has, of course, you're going to get the original flip side there. So I don't know what the flip side is on that 45. But anyway, let's continue here. And I'm guessing this next gal, she's out of Chicago only because her two singles that she did came out on Chicago labels, LeMay Records, I think, for her first. This is her second, which is on the Constellation label. I have played the LeMay single not too long ago, a song called Prove It. But this is her second. It's on Constellation, written and produced by Jesse Herring. Let's go to October of 1964 here for Sandra Lynn. Sandra Lynn on the Constellation label. It's called Where Would I Be? Sandra Lynn.
I have never felt this way before. What have you done to me? I just don't know. For when you touch me, I feel warm inside, and my feelings I can't hide. Your kisses are so divine, and I'm so proud you're mine, all mine. Our love is so strong, I could never do you wrong. 'Cause where would I be if you didn't love me? Where would I be? Where would I find someone to love me like you? Where would I find a love as true? I could never, never let you down, 'cause you're the greatest joy I've ever felt. Your kisses warm the coldest night. Your love makes my dark days bright. I'm so glad you're mine. I will never let you down. 'Cause where would I be if you didn't love me? Where would I be? Your kisses warm the coldest night. Your love makes my dark days bright. I'm so glad you're mine. I will never let you down. 'Cause where would I be if you didn't love me? Where would I be if you didn't love me? Where would I be if you put someone above me? Oh, if you didn't love me.
October 64 release there for her Sandra Lynn. Sandra Lynn on Constellation Records out of Chicago. Where Would I Be is the name of the tune. I'm going to be at lunch tomorrow. I'm meeting a listener, Braden McCallow. He's a big 78 collector. He's been tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show. He came, I think he drove from Minnesota, so he's going to meet me for lunch tomorrow. Thinks I have some 78s to sell him. We'll see. I don't know, but I definitely told him I'd like to see him and see what he picked up so far, and maybe we'll go to lunch somewhere. I don't know. It's up to him. Does he want pizza or does he want to something else. So, well, he can decide. It's Johnny G's Treat. Johnny G's Treat tonight here, spinning my 45s for you, the Vinyl Treasure Show listeners here. Let's continue here. And here's a request for listener Ronnie Sherman. He is on vacation in California. So, Ronnie, are you tuned into the show? You can email me. Ronnie Sherman watches me live on the 3 shows that I do here on YouTube. But we're on Oldies and More Radio this evening and also on YouTube. So he requested this group from Harlem, New York. Well, I often feature them on my Saturday night Vinyl Treasure Show, probably best known for their 1957 release on Everlast called Desiree. That was with Joe Greer on lead. But the group would disband in 1958 after those 5 releases, but 2 of the original members, Leroy Binns and Stephen Brown, wanted to continue to record, so they recruited 2 new members to the group, that being Tony Harris and Frankie Pierce, to continue recording as the Charts. And this was their very next release. It came out on Paul Vance and Leo Pockrass's Velvetone label. The tune written by group member Tony Harris. It features Stephen Brown on lead. This charted WAAT in Trenton, New Jersey. They were playing this record. This is by request for Ronnie Sherman from March 63. The Charts on Velvetone. It's called Keep Dancing With Me for Ronnie.
We're at a dance, but I see at a glance that you're thinking our love cannot be. You may love another, oh yeah, really love another, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But baby, you're dancing with me. Keep on dancing, come on and dance, stop dancing, make you cry. Look at him dancing by, he's holding her close. Can't you see? Can't you see? Daddy really loves her, oh yeah, really, really loves her, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And baby, you're dancing with me. Keep on dancing, come on and dance, stop dancing, kick it up, kick it up. Shake, 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 shake. You must try to forget him. I just forgotten you. I'll love you forever. He'll never, ever be true. Maybe this spot, he's still locked in your heart. Break the chains or you never be free. And keep my arms around you, oh yeah, and let my love surround you, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And baby, keep dancing, oh baby, keep dancing, oh baby, keep dancing with me. Keep on dancing, come on and dance, don't stop dancing, oh, don't stop dancing, keep on dancing.
That's for Ronnie Sherman. Ronnie Sherman on vacation there. I know he's tuned into the program. Those are the charts. The charts there from March of 1963. And it features Stephen Brown on lead. Keep Dancing With Me is the name of the tune. That's on the Velvetone label. Not easy record to find. Remember Greg Surik, he offered me that 45 a long, long time ago. The late Greg Surik, as we continue here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, here is a pretty cool cover version of this song. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar of the tune, familiar with the tune, Always Something There to Remind Me. Now, how many artists have recorded that song through the years? Lou Johnson, Sandy Shaw, Jose Feliciano, Dionne Warwick, R.B. Greaves, The Naked Eyes. Did I cover it? No, there's a lot more, I think. Maybe there's over 150 artists that recorded this song. I don't know, but I saw that on the mentioned on the Cover Me website. There's a website, called Cover Me. It gives you all covers. That's what they call it. But anyway, I picked out this version that bubbled under at number 125 on the Billboard chart, but it was a big record, number 9 record on WIXY in Cleveland, Ohio. This tune written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David. This version's on Atlantic Records as done by Patti, LaBelle, and the Bluebelles. Let's go to March of 1967 for Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles on Atlantic Records and their rendition of the tune, Always Something There to Remind Me. Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. March 67, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebelles version of Always Something There to Remind Me. That one there on the Atlantic Records. Maybe these records bring back memories, always something there to remind you of the past. It does to me sometimes. Actually, when I'm kind of blue, I tune into the records here. I play them here. This is really the only time I get to play them here. So it kind of perks me up. Yes, it does. As we continue here, we go back to Philadelphia now with this group that formed back in 1960, first recording for the Gowan label. Then they signed with Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff's Gamble label in 1966. They would have 32 releases on the label. Now, this is their third release, written and produced by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, and it features Sam Little Sonny Brown on lead. This charted number 13 on WWIN. If you were listening in Baltimore, Maryland, let's go to December of 1966 for the Intruders. The Intruders on the Gamble label. It's called You'd Better, that's in parentheses, You'd Better Check Yourself.
I'm sending you a warning, 'cause you're getting out of
That's the great sound of the Intruders. They're out of Philadelphia there. That is their third release on the Gamble label, December 1966. You'd Better Check Yourself is the name of the tune. John G's got to go get checked up here. Got a few things I got to work on here kind of bothering me. So, and now that I'll be on Medicare starting in September there, but I really have got to call and find out what this thing is on my hand. It's bothering me here. If it's a melanoma, I'm going to be in trouble. But anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Been featuring this gal from Greenwood, Mississippi a lot here on the 60s edition. And this is a request this time for listener Adrian Viterbo in our YouTube chat room. He requested Miss Betty Everett. Now, after leaving VJ Records, she signed with ABC in 1967. I think she had 4 releases on ABC. Then she moved on to Uni Records. She had 8 releases on the Uni label. Now, Adrian requested her first, a tune written by Eugene Record and Floyd Smith. This charted number 41 on Cashbox, 26 on Billboard. This was number 2. It was a big hit on the Billboard R&B chart. Let's go to November of 1968 for Miss Betty Everett. This is going out to Adrian in our YouTube chat room. Betty Everett on Uni. It's called There'll Come a Time for Adrian. That's a nice ballad there by request for Adrian Viterbo in our YouTube chat room there. The sound of Betty Everett, that's her first of 6 on the Uni label from November 68. There'll come a time. Yes, it will. There'll come a time where Johnny G's got to sell all his 45s. We're going to have a fire sale but not quite yet. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures, and let's go to this group from Buffalo, this group out of Buffalo, New York. They had 4 releases on the Aphrodisiac record label. What a cool name for a record label, Aphrodisiac Records. And this is their first, which would become their biggest hit. Number 80 on Billboard, 78 on Cashbox, but a big number 1 record on stations like WNIA and WYSL in Buffalo, WJET in Erie, Pennsylvania, and WGVA in Geneva, New York. They're called Wilmer Alexander Jr. and his Dukes. This is from May of 1968 on the Aphrodisiac label. Wilmer Alexander Jr. and the Dukes. It's called Give Me One More Chance. May 1968 release there for Wilmer Alexander Jr. and the Dukes. That's on the Aphrodisiac label. Give Me One More Chance is the name of the tune. Now, the interesting thing about this, whenever I would go out in the wild and buy the record, I would pick it up if I could. When I saw it, pick it up for a dime or a quarter or whatever. So when I started looking at the labels, I'm like, well, wait a minute, these things look different. What's going on here with the record? So I found out that the true first presses of this show Wilmer Alexander Jr. and the Dukes. And the first presses have no time on the label. That's the true first press, so check your copy if yours even says Wilmer Alexander Jr. and the Dukes. Then they put it out like that again with the time. And then there's even a third press. It just says Wilmer and the Dukes. So you need to check your copy of that 45. There you go. You learn something new here on the Vinyl Treasure Show every Wednesday, also every Saturday, and also every Monday afternoon. Let's continue here. Up next, this gal by the name of Judith Grace Gunyons. Did I say that right? Read Guins. Gunyons, I think. She was born in St. Falls, North Carolina, but at first recording for the Ember label back in 1961. She does a great rendition of Stormy Weather. I'll have to play that for my mother because she likes that song, Stormy Weather. But releases followed on Levette Records, and in 1964 she would have 5 on Florence Greenberg's Scepter record label. I think she recorded these really at Levette, and they worked out a deal to release the singles on Scepter. This is her second tune arranged by Gary Sherman, and this is from September of 1964. Guions. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Her name is Judith Grace Guions. That's how you pronounce that. Thank you, Mark, for that. Johnny G needs to go back to school. September 64, I prefer Judy Clay. Here's Judy Clay on the Scepter label. This is the A-side of her second release on Scepter. It's called Lonely People Do Foolish Things.
Why do I wait for your call every night? And I sit next to a phone that never rings.
September 64 release there from Miss Judy Clay. Judy Clay on the Scepter label. Lonely People Do Foolish Things. Yes, they do. Of course, she would have her most popular song in a duet with Billy Vera called Storybook Children, their first of 4 that they recorded for on the Atlantic label. I think she even had 2 solo releases after that, but she has other releases on Stax. The unfortunate thing was that her life was cut short in a car accident on July 19th of 2001. She was 62 years old. And I met her son when I was working for Sony Music. My boss, Brian Kelleher, I was working for Brian Kelleher in the digital accounting department. And I was teaching their staff, how to do accounting for, all the stuff they were recording. I mean, all the money that was coming in from Apple iTunes. So he introduced me to, I forget his name, but he was in the process of working on a movie about his mother, and we were talking about her career and everything else, and she used to take him on a lot of the gigs that she did and a lot of the recording things. It was very interesting talking with the son of Judy Clay. But let's flip the 45 over. We can do instant requests here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We're going to flip this 45 over. Give a listen to the B-side here. This tune also arranged again by Gary Sherman. And we flip over Lonely People Do Foolish Things from September 64 from Miss Judy Clay. And this is from Mark Speck in the YouTube chat room. It's called I'm Coming Home for Mark. That's an instant request from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Judy Clay. Judy Clay with a B-side there to her second release, Lonely People Do Foolish Things, song entitled I'm Coming Home. That one there from September 64 on the Scepter label. Let's continue here for this group out of Brooklyn, New York. Began their career recording for the Dyna Voice record label, had 3 releases on Dyna Voice. Then they signed with MGM for 2 more releases, and finally they had this release in 1968 on the New York City-based Diamond label, and this is the intended B-side of that 45. It features Herman Caulfield on lead from October 68. Let's give a listen to The Invitations. The Invitations on the Diamond label. It's called Got to Have It Now.
falling behind in your loving. You're falling too far behind. You don't have the time for my loving, so I'm gonna lie to you that I'll make it right. Lie to you, I gotta lay it right on the line. Don't deny, need your loving every day. Baby, won't you try? I've got to have it now. I've got to have your love. I've got to have it now. I've got to have it now. You don't seem to care for my loving. You don't seem to care at all. You're so unaware of my loving. Now I'm gonna. Straight and tell you just one more time. Don't deny, I need your loving every day. Baby, won't you try? Cause I've got to have it now. Ooh, I've got to have it now. Lord, I've got to have your love. I've got to have it now.
That's the very last single for the Invitations on the Diamond label, October 68. Got to have it now. You got to have these 45s right now. This music right now. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasures, here's a request for UK listener Tony Crosby. Still in our YouTube chat room. He's dancing. He is making a hole in his rug. Is that in your bedroom or your living room, Tony? And don't tell your wife that I'm causing you to do that. That is not a good thing. But this gal, she's from Columbia, South Carolina. First recording back in 1961 for the CR label, but it took 6 years before she would have her second release. This is on Buzz Cason and Bobby Russell's Elf label. This charted regionally. This was a number 9 record on WFLI in Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, wherever that is. And this is from December 67. This is going out to Tony Crosby. Her name is Bobby Lynn, Bobbi, Bobby Lynn on Elf Records, and the song is called Earthquake. For Tony.
Could this be the end?
That's so. Wait a minute, Mark. Flip which one? The earthquake song, or the next record? Well, you'll talk. You got to tell me which song because sometimes there's a little bit of a delay in the YouTube chat room there. But anyway, there you go. That's for Tony Crosby, Bobby Lynn from December 1967 on the Elf record label Earthquake. I think she would have one more 3 years after this on the Nashville-based Look label. Oh, I guess one of the worst things for a record collector is to be caught in to have an earthquake happen. Imagine that. And my no humidity basement would be crushed. Dave the Rave always tells me I need to get insurance, but you know how much the insurance would cost me to insure like a X amount of $1 million record collection? It'd be a lot of money. It would be. I guess you have peace of mind. I know if I was in California and they had an earthquake. But listen, they had an earthquake here in Westchester County. I was sitting at the table, I don't know, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was talking to my mother, and we heard, I said, that wasn't a truck dragging a heavy rock across the road. That was an earthquake, and lo and behold, when I checked on my phone, it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. It was kind of weird, but we've had a few earthquakes here, but I'm on solid rock. I am on solid rock, so there's no chance for a sinkhole here. There's a chance for a fire. That is true, because we're close. The houses are close here anyway. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Mark, you got to tell me which song you want me to flip over. Oh, the Bobby Lynn. Okay, we'll do that after this record here that we're playing here, this 45 that my aunt purchased in the fall of 1967. Now, after the Platters left Mercury Records, they moved over to Music Core in 1966. They had a new lead singer that replaced Tony Williams. His name was Sonny Turner. And this was their 7th of 12 releases for the Music Core record label. This charted number 83 on Cashbox, 70 on Billboard, 32 on the Billboard R&B chart, a number 21 record on WKNR in Detroit, Michigan. We go to October 1967. These are the Platters on Music Core. It's called Sweet, Sweet Lovin', the Platters. The sound of the Platters here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there with Sonny Turner on lead. The Platters from October 67, that's their 7th of 12 on Music Core's Sweet, Sweet Lovin', the name of the tune. Let's go back to that Bobby Lynn record that we played for Tony Crosby, and listener Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room wants Johnny G to flip it over, so let's do it now from December 67, Bobby Lynn on Elf. Let's flip over Earthquake. And you get this tune. It's called Opportunity Street. This is for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room.
You know, in life, some people try to make it. Some don't. Some keep trying. Some give up. I've tried to make it, and this is my story. Well, I was born just around the corner, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. Yes, I was. Yeah, I was born just around the corner, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. What I said, I lived 18 years of good memories. I had 27 cents every meal to eat. Opportunity Street. Yeah, Opportunity Street. My Opportunity Street now. I met a boy just around the corner, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. Yes, I did. Yeah, I met a boy just around the corner, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. What I said, he had charms so sweet, he nearly drove me mad, but he stole my love, took everything I had. Opportunity Street. Yeah, Opportunity Street. My Opportunity Street now. It seems to me that I could see there must be another way, but some don't get a second chance. I guess I'll have to stay. Now a word to all you people, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. What I said, yeah, now a word to all you people, about a half a block from Opportunity Street. Listen to me now, if it's an easy life you plan to be, just make a bow face and take a look at me. Opportunity Street. My Opportunity Street. Yeah, Opportunity Street. Hey, Opportunity Street. All right, Opportunity Street.
Well, that side's faster than Earthquake. There you go. That's an instant request for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's Bobby Lynn, the flip side of Earthquake, Opportunity Street, from December 1967. That's on the Elf record label. We continue here, and this girl group is out of Philadelphia, PA. They sang in church as the Little Cooperettes, but they were managed by their mother, Ethel Cooper, and she got them a contract with Brunswick Records. They did 3 releases on the Brunswick label. Let's give a listen to their second. Now, they consisted of Angie, Debbie, Jeanette, and Tina Cooper. They were known as the Cooperettes. And this is actually a cover song. This song was first recorded by Chubby Checker. This charted number 26 on WHAT in Philadelphia, PA. This is from December 66. These are the Cooperettes. The Cooperettes on Brunswick, with with a cover of the Chubby Checker tune called Everything's Wrong.
Everything's wrong, baby.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there, the Cooperettes. Cooperettes on the Brunswick label, Everything's Wrong. That's a cover of the Chubby Checker tune. That one there, December 1966 there, second of three on the Brunswick label. I think I have Shingling. I have to check. I think I have all their singles, all three singles by this group. We continue here on Vinyl Treasure. Here's a flip side from last week. I might play the other side again because I like this record so much. Featured this group from New Haven, Connecticut. They were called the Campbells with a K. And featured the side You've Got It Bad. Came out on the Select label and featured Harry Janes on lead. He's also doing lead on the flip side. This one arranged by Tico Wilshire, September 1964. The Campbells on Select. The B-side's called New Lock on My Door.
Should I be the one to cry? After all, baby, you are the one saying goodbye. But before you leave, I want you to know, yeah, now, you broke my heart once before, and now I'm not gonna take any more. Well, baby, dig, I got some bad news for you now. There's gonna be a lock on my door, baby, believe what I'm telling you. There's gonna be a new lock on my door. Remember last time you said goodbye? You weren't around when I almost died. But as time passed by, the hurt healed inside. I took you back, but I had changed. You even told Daddy you're so strange. Well, if you think things are gonna be like they were before, there's gonna be a new lock on my door. Baby, believe what I'm telling you now. There's gonna be a new lock on my door. Baby, I'm through and my mind's made up. So you better stay home and drink from Daddy's loving cup. Now, girl, please don't get me wrong. Yeah, now I love you, baby. That's all there is to that. But I'm not gonna say no why you leave me flat. If you think things are gonna be like they were before, well, there's gonna be a new lock on my door. Baby, believe what I'm telling you now. There's gonna be a new lock on my door.
B-side, I think that's a B-side there from September 1964. The Campbells on the Select label. New Lock on My Door is the name of the tune, and I like the flip side of this record here so much that I'm going to play it again here, the other side of this record. This is the A-side. I played this last week, but I want to hear it again. It's called You've Got It Bad. Johnny G's Got the Addiction Bad, I Do. These are the Campbells with You Got It Bad from September 64.
Thought you'd never see the day. Yes, I know when I would ever get this way. I'm a singing song all day long. Easy to put your shoes on. Oh, that tell me, yes, I know I really got it bad now. Baby, I really got it bad now. Since I fell in love
to get to my mind. But I was a playboy in Caprice's temptation, for she was such a beautiful creation. Yes, I know I didn't think things could ever get this bad. Oh yes, I fooled around and that pretty girl stole my heart. Oh yes, I know I've got it bad. Baby, I've really got it bad now, since I fell in love with that sweet little girl. I know I've got it bad. Baby, I've really got it bad now. I know I've got it bad.
Yeah, well, I got it bad. I do. Those are the Campbells. September 64 release. You've Got It Bad. Yes, you do. That's on the Select record label. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s. They do it every Wednesday right here on Oldies and More Radio, so live on YouTube. Tell your friends about the YouTube program. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You got to be signed into YouTube, though, to do it. Make up a name and come in. That's what you got to do. Let's continue here for this next singer. Her name is Geraldine Latham, and this appears to be her only release on the Winner label. I think it's Winner 711 is the label, I think, which was originally out of Norfolk, Virginia. So the first presses of this have or is it Norfolk? I have Norfolk on here. Is that right, or is it Norfolk? I don't know, but that should be on the label, the true first press. But with the original writers, Leon Huff and Cindy Scott, and this would later be distributed nationally by VJ Records. That's how I have it. They replaced Cindy Scott with Sundre Tucker, so that's how you know it's actually Cindy Scott's real name. And she had her own recordings on the Peacock label, Showbiz Records, Veep, and others. This tune co-written by Leon Huff. Her name is Geraldine Latham. August 65. Lazy Lover is the name of the tune on the Winner 711 label.
Lazy lover,
That is Geraldine Latham. Well, you said it was, I said Latham, only because I know of Cincinnati Bengals spell the name the same way, and they called them Latham. That's what I said. But is it Latham? I don't know. Latham or Latham? That's how you pronounce the A? I don't know. August 1965. Lazy Lover is the name of the tune. That one there on the Winner 711 label. We're going to do an instant request. We're going to flip the 45 over here for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. He wants an instant request for Geraldine Latham. As I flip it over here, what's it called here? Mr. Fix-It. Yes, it is. So do this. Instant requests here on the Vinyl Treasure Show going out to Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room from August 65. Flip over Lazy Lover. You get Mr. Fix-It for Mark Speck. This is Geraldine Latham. I have a mint copy of that record, I do. Anyway, that's Geraldine Latham. Instant request there for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat from August 65, the flip side of Lazy Lover, song entitled Mr. Fix-It. That one there on the Winner 711 label. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures with a request for listener Ronnie Sherman on vacation out in California. Hope you're digging on the tunes, Ronnie here. This group out of New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey for this group. And I first heard this song on the Gus Gossard Show back in the early 1970s. He would play this all the time. This record first came out on the General label, which is really rare on the General record label. That's how I showed you that I have this 45. Then it came out on Checker about 2 months later. The group consisted of Patrick Coleman, Artie Johnson, Walter Tooney, James Times, and Vincent Williams. Collectively, they were known as the Ocapellos. The Ocapellos. This is on the General record label, the yellow General label. If you have it on the maroon label, that's actually like a reissue. Somebody put that out there. This charted number 42 on WMBM in Miami, Florida. And this is from May of 1966. The Ocapellos on General for Ronnie Sherman. It's called The Stars. There you go. That's for Ronnie Sherman there, the Ocapellos. Ocapellos from May of 1966. That's on the original General label. Song entitled The Stars. Now, Mark, you asked me, you saw Klein on the label. It is Bobby Klein. I don't know. This might be his label, a subsidiary of Pinky Records. This is produced by Ben, what is it, Malton, and arranged by Hayes Thompson. Bobby Klein on there. You were very good, Mark. Mark's got sharp eyes, not like Johnny G, all blurry. But anyway, let's continue here. Yes, I can, Mark. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This next 45, a great two-sided one, so Mark already knows. I already know the flip side is good. And I'm guessing this gal is out of Philadelphia. And one of the writers on this side here, former lead singer of the Dovelles, Leonard Borisov, a.k.a. Len Barry. And the 45 produced by Johnny Madera and David White, arranged by Jimmy the Whiz Wisner. This is from September 1965. Her name is Joanne King. Joanne King on Coral Records. The song is called Please, Mr. Songwriter.
Please, Mr. Songwriter, write a song about my baby. So when he hears it on the air, he'll know that I still care. And maybe he'll come running back to me.
September 1965 release there for Joanne King. Joanne King on the choral label, Please Mr. Songwriter is the name of the tune. That one there produced by Johnny Madera and David White. They also produced the flip side of the 45, so it's an instant request for listener Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Let's flip the 45 over here as I line it up there. Here you go. So let's flip over this September 65 release on the choral label. Only one person has it on 45 Cat. That's me. There's got to be other people that own this record. Joanne King, September 65. We flip over Please Mr. Songwriter on the choral record label. You get this tune, My Baby Left Me. This is for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Instant requests here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That one there from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's Joanne King. That's the flip side of Please Mr. Songwriter, My Baby Left Me, September 1965 on the choral label. Let's continue here. And last week I featured this singer from Franklin, Tennessee. Began recording in 1961 for the Dot label. He would have his biggest hit in 1967. You know the song. It was called Everlasting Love. Came out on the Rising Suns record label. Last week I featured a release he did in March of 1970 on the Elf label called I'm Stickin' With You. But let's go back to the Rising Sun record label, and this is, I want to send this one out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room. This was the special record for Tony. I couldn't find that Gloria Jones 45. I know it's somewhere up here. It is just misfiled. But this is his third of four on Rising Suns. So we'll send it out to Tony Crosby listening in the UK from March 1968. Robert Knight on Rising Suns. It's called Love on a Mountaintop. Tony.
drinking love from a fountain. Know your daddy's funny, he don't go for me. He warned you, honey, that our love can't be. I'm from the other side of the mountain, girl, but you don't care. And tonight you steal away and meet me up there, and we make love on a mountain top. So high that we won't ever stop. Making love on the mountain, drinking love from the fountain. Loving is cool, but like I'm some kind of king. When you know I never ever talk on me. But high up on the mountain, girl, we found so much. It's worth $1,000,000 just to have your touch. And we make love on a mountain top. So high that we won't ever stop. Making love on the mountain, drinking love from a fountain. Love on a mountain top, so high that we won't ever stop. Making love on the mountain, drinking love from a fountain.
Tony's going to have to buy a new rug after tonight's show, or as the last couple shows here, really. That's going out to Tony Crosby in our YouTube chat room, listening out in the over the pond in the UK there in the wee hours of the morning. Robert Knight there, March 1968 on Rising Suns Records. Love on a Mountaintop is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. You all know this gal from Bellhaven, North Carolina. She was born June 29th, 1943, discovered by songwriters Carole King and Jerry Goffin while she was babysitting their daughter Louise. Yes, her real name was Eva Narcissus Boyd. Was she narcissist? I don't know. Eva Narcissus Boyd. Her biggest hit was her debut single back in 1962, a national #1 hit called The Locomotion. She never again really achieved the success of that release, but she did have other hits like Keep Your Hands Off My Baby, Let's Turkey Trot, and others on the Dimension label, but she had releases on other labels. Here is her first of two on the Verve label. It's actually the B-side of her release. This is arranged by Artie Butler, produced by Creed Tyler. Let's go to November of 1966 for Little Eva. Little Eva on the Verve label. It's called Just One Word Ain't Enough. Little Eva.
Just one word from you, boy, is all I'm asking for. Whoa, whoa, now. And just one word from you, boy, keeps me feeling fine all the time.
November 1966 release there for Little Eva. Little Eva, her first of two on the Verve record label, Just One Word Ain't Enough. We're going to do an instant request for listener Mark Speck. Let's flip over this 45. This is the intended A-side. It's got the little star on it on the promo that I have. So by request for Mark Speck, this is Little Eva from November 66. Flip over. Just One Word Ain't Enough. This is on Verve Records. This is the intended A-side. It's called Bend It. Bend It.
Bend it, show me you can move and do the dance that's really in the groove and bend it, baby. There is nothing to it, even tiny kids in school can do it. Just relax, let's stack the time for honey when night is ending. We'll be bend it. There's no need to hurry. Let your mind be paid to work and worry when we dance up and like this together. I'm so sure we could go on forever. There's no doubt without your love, and baby, I'm alone on my own. That's nice. Yeah, you're looking good, baby. That's great. Bend it, show me you can move and do the dance that's really in the groove and bend it, baby. There's nothing to it, even tiny kids in school can do it. Just relax, let's take the time for honey when night is ending. We'll be bend it, show me you can move and do the dance that's really in the groove and bend it, baby. There is nothing to it, even tiny kids in school can do it. Just relax, let's take the time for honey when night is ending. We'll be
There you go. That's going. Instant request from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's evidently, it's got to be a dance, right? Johnny G cannot bend it like I used to. I can tell you that much. That's Little Eva there. The flip side of Just One Word Ain't Enough. A song entitled Bend It from November 66 on the Verve record label. Here is another. I bought this 45. I used to walk home from Sleepy Hollow High School. I used to walk down Broadway, and I used to walk in front of a Woolworths. You know, they don't have Woolworths anymore. It was actually a pretty cool store. They used to actually serve like hot dogs and milkshakes and whatnot. They had like a counter with those swivel chairs that you can sit on, but you can also buy, little odds and ends and things, stuff for school, masks for Halloween. And they also had records, but they were like cheapo records, 4 for $1 in the cutout bins. So I would go there and I'm looking through the records, and they'd have tons and tons of Motown records with BB holes in it. It was 4 for $1. How can you go wrong? I would look through I'd be there for like 2 hours, and I would kind of organize, because they would just throw them in there. Just throw them in there, and they were in the plastic, so I would go through them, and that's where I bought this one. But it was actually the final release for Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, and it was really the sad thing about this duo is both of them had untimely deaths for both these artists. Tammy Terrell died of a malignant brain tumor at the age of 24, and Marvin Gaye was shot by his father in 1984, actually one day before his 45th birthday. So very tragic ending to these two singers, but they left us with some great music, and this record charted number 50 on Billboard, a tune written and produced by Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson. I think they also written and produced, arranged by Paul Reiser, charted number 50 on Billboard, 18 on the R&B chart of Billboard, and number 4 on WEAM in Arlington, Virginia. This is their last single as a duet, March 1970, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. It's called The Onion Song.
The world is just a great big onion, and hate and fear are the spices that make you cry. Oh, baby, and the only way to get rid of this great big onion
is to plant love seeds until it dies.
Hey world, we got a great big job to do. Yeah, we need you and everybody pull us through. Oh, you know we got to clean up this place and reach for high. Oh yeah.
Yes, we do now. We gotta be headstrong about righting the wrong and make a lot more happy souls.
Oh, baby, the world is just a great big onion, and I don't care if the face people like to wear. Oh, baby, and the only way to get rid of this great big onion.
Every single soul's got to do their share.
Tell about it, baby. So come on, let's knock on every door. Woo! Tell them love is the answer, whether they're rich or poor. Oh yeah, and we don't care what you do, how you look, or your status claim, baby.
No, no, because brothers and sisters from now on is gonna be everyone's name. The world is just
a great big onion, and hate and fear are the spices that make you cry.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
baby, and the only way to get rid of this great big onion.
is to plant love seeds.
Now everybody got to plant love seeds
Come on and plant love seeds.
until it dies. The world is just a great big onion.
Are you telling me that's Valerie Simpson singing with, I gotta check a Motown Junkies on that. Why would they put it out as Tammy Terrell? That doesn't really make any sense. That record was recorded, well, she wasn't recording, well, the song is 1969. I gotta go check that. Now you got me curious about that. California Soul was also out on the charts too, the flip side there, but I didn't know that. I have to check. Anyway, March 1970 on the Tamla record label. It says Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Maybe it's not. I don't know. The Onion Song is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. This artist first recorded on the ABS label out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Then I have Dave Bartholomew's Broadmoor label. I know Fats Domino, maybe he also, because he has releases on this label too, Broadmoor Records out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And what do I have here? Produced by the label owner, Dave Bartholomew. And this singer's name is Charles Brimmer. He had other releases in the 1970s. The Continentals are backing him up on this. I have June 1967 as the release date on this. Charles Brimmer on Broadmoor Records. It's called The Feeling Is in My Heart. Charles Brimmer.
I felt love and I don't know why. Oh, let this love begin. Once it starts, don't let it end. Stand by me through thick and thin. Rain or sleep, snow or wind, 'cause the feeling is in my heart. From you I'll never part. The feeling is in my heart. I'm glad I made a start. Girl, your tender touch. Oh, it means so much. Child, your tender smile is enough to drive a tiger wild. Darling, don't go away. Stay with me forever and a day. The sun just had to shine on the day I made you mine, 'cause the feeling is in my heart. From you I'll never part. The feeling is in my heart. I'm glad I made a start. Girl, I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. Really, I do. Yes, I love you. I care for no one but you. Sure enough, I love you. Baby. Baby. Oh, baby. The feeling is in my heart. From you I'll never part. The feeling is in my heart. I'm glad I made a start. I was living in a world that was grim. Chances of surviving were oh so slim. But then you came along and took me in your arms. The moment I saw you, oh how I wanted you. And now that you are mine, I'm gonna love you all of the time. And as long as day is day, darling, come what may. Girl, I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. Really, I do. Yes, I love you. I care for no one but you. Sure enough, I love you. Baby. Baby. Oh, baby. The feeling is in my heart. You I'll never part. The feeling is in my heart. I'm glad I made a start. The feeling, 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 the feeling is in my heart.
I have June 67 release there for Charles Brimmer. Charles Brimmer and the Continentals on the Broadmoor record label. The Feeling Is in My Heart. What does that record sell for? I think I paid $1 for that record. The guy had it in a dollar bin. I picked it up, but it looked interesting, and it sounds pretty cool. That it is. Let's continue here. This gal returns. This gal from Detroit. We heard her first release earlier in the show on the RCA record label, and she is a singer, songwriter, and producer from Detroit. She met songwriter and producer Jack Ashford, who convinced her to sign with his Pied Piper production team, and not only as a writer but also as a performer. The result was a release on the Giant label, and the song was called What Can I Do? I played that on the RCA label earlier in the show, and it would be picked up by RCA for national distribution. I featured that earlier, and at record number 11. Here's her second release, her follow-up, second of 3 on RCA. This charted number 32 on WJMO from October 1966. We'll send it out to Tony Crosby. Since he's tearing up his rug, he'll continue with it with this record here. Lorraine Chandler on RCA. It's called I Can't Hold On.
Listen to what I have to say.
That's Lorraine Chandler there. That's her second release on the RCA record label, October 1966. I Can't Hold On is the name of that tune. Johnny G holding on here as we are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. As we continue here, let's stay in Detroit, Michigan here for this cover tune. This song originally recorded by the Impressions, it was their first release on the ABC Paramount record label, and this song recorded by many artists through the years. But this group is out of Detroit. Now, this first came out on the GG label back in 1965. No, wait. I'm sorry, not this. Their first release came out. I was wondering what that said. kind of gave me a blank there. Their first release came out on the GG label back in 1965. They have other releases on D-Town and Wheelsville and We 3, which I think I played last week or the week before. And this is their third of three of the on Mike Hank's Premium Stuff label out of Detroit. This charted number 14 on WCHB in Detroit. It features Joe Harris on lead. Let's go to May of 1968. The Fabulous Peps, that's the name of the group. It's on Premium Stuff Records, and their cover of the Impressions' Gypsy Woman.
From nowhere to a caravan around the campfire light, a lovely woman in motion with hair as dark as night. Her eyes were like that of a cat in the dark that hypnotized me with love. Gypsy woman, she danced around and around to a guitar melody. From the fire, her face was all aglow. Oh, how she enchanted me. She'll never know that I love her. Oh yes, and I love her. Gypsy woman, Gypsy woman.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. There you go, the Fabulous Peps version of the Impressions tune, Gypsy Woman, May 1968. We'll send that one out to AZ Mick in our YouTube chat room. The Gypsy Woman on the Premium Stuff record label. That's their third release on the Premium Stuff. Johnny G feeding you Premium Stuff here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We're going to go till the bottom of the hour here, and then we'll take off here. But let's continue here. And how about another 45 from early 1970? This gal from Gary, Indiana. Then she relocated to Chicago, Illinois. Now, this is her third release on the Lock label. Her real name is June Chandler, but she recorded as Denise Chandler. Now, she would later record as Denise Williams. Denise Williams, Mark Speck mentioned it in the YouTube chat room. She would go on to have 5 Grammys in the 1980s, but before that, she recorded as Denise Chandler. This is her fourth release on the. Is it her 4th overall release? No, yes. No, that can't be right. I have 3 and then 4. That's not right. But anyway, this is written by Renee Mark, Sonia Davis, produced by the label owner Clarence Johnson and Johnny Cameron. This was number 27 on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go to April 1970 for Denise Chandler on Lock Records. It's called Mama, I Wish I Stayed at Home.
By the bright lights of the city.
Yes, Stormy, you are correct. That is early Denise Williams. Yes, that's April 1970. She went by Denise Chandler on that release on the Lock label, Mama, I Wish I Stayed at Home. Sometimes I would say that when I would have a bad day at work. Now I'm working here at the house. I am doing that. But anyway, let's continue here for this next singer out of Dallas, Texas. First recording in 1964 on the Village label as Charles Gray. Then in 1965 he had a single on the Mercury label as Willie Charles Gray, and it's a song he wrote. This is produced by Shelby Singleton and Joe Veneri. This charted number 39 on WAME in Miami, Florida. This is from September 1966, and whenever you gamble on a game, football or basketball or whatever, you always have to run this through your mind. I know I always do. But anyway, this is Willie Charles Gray on Mercury Records from September 1966. It's called I'm Gonna Be a Winner.
I'm gonna be a
Let me tell you a story about a boy and a girl who once had a love affair. The boy got grown, he got on his own, but everything he did, it seems to turn out wrong. After a while, the girl told the boy, I love you, but we just can't make it like this. Either you get success, or well, I guess you and I, we're gonna quit. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be a winner. I'm gonna be a winner. So the boy went on his way, feeling lonesome and sad, having no one but himself. Every night for $6 and love struck. Next, a big, big star. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be a winner. I'm gonna be a winner. I'm gonna be a winner. She came running back to him. But 10,000 fans loving that man, and she just couldn't get through there. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be a winner. I'm gonna be a winner. I said I'm gonna be a winner.
That's Willie Charles Gray, September 1966. A would-be member, we'll say, Mark, to the Masqueraders that recorded on La Beat. Song entitled I'm Gonna Be a Winner. That one there on the Mercury record label. In 1967, he had two more releases on the SSS International label. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We'll be going a little bit longer, so we're going to about 12:30 here before we sign off here on the program. Let's go back to Detroit now for this girl group. They were discovered while doing background vocals for Deion Jackson on his 1966 hit Love Makes the World Go Round. Their first release was on the Carla label, and this was their second release, though. I need that Carla single. I know Dave the Rave has it, but I need that single. This was their second. This trio consisted of Patricia Hunt, Sharon and Sandra Gambrell. They were collectively known as the Gambrells. This is from February '68 on the Cub label, the Gambrells, with I'm in Love Again for the first time. That's the name of the tune. I'm in Love Again for the first time.
And I want to tell you that my heart
girl group called the Gambrels, February 1968, on the revitalized, yes, Rob B., the revitalized Cub record label. I'm in Love Again for the First Time is the name of the tune. Let's get a couple more in here, maybe three more before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go back to Detroit, Michigan for this next singer. Had 3 releases on the MS label. This is his first, which was probably his biggest hit, number 27 on the Billboard R&B charts on Frank Martis and Jerry Snyder's MS label, which is out of Dearborn, Michigan. His name is Louis Curry, and this was also a big number 3 record on WABQ in Cleveland, Ohio. It was written by Harry Lee Gates and Fred Brown, and arranged by McKinley Jackson. Let's go to March of 1968 for Louis Curry. Louis Curry on MS Records. It's called A Toast to You. There you go. There, they like that tune there on the YouTube chat. We'll send that one out to AZ, Mick, and Adrian there. That's Louis Curry. Louis Curry, his first release on the MS label from March 68. A Toast to You is the name of that one. And Mark Speck wants an instant request. Lots of instant requests tonight, but that's okay. And we get to hear all these cool tunes here, and we get to pick Mark's brain on the Northern Soul scene here. Also, Tony Crosby, too, knowledgeable about this the Northern Soul scene. So we flip over this Louis Curry 45. Here we go. There you go. From March of 1968, A Toast to You on MS Records. You get this side here going out to Mark Speck. It's called I'll Try Again Tomorrow. Louis Curry for Mark.
Now
Instant requests here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, going out to Mark Speck, the flip side of A Toast to You by Lewis Curry. The song is called I'll Try Again Tomorrow, is the name of that one, from March of 1968 on the MS record label. Two more 45s to go, then Johnny G's Outta Here. Here is a girl group known as the Lavettes. This is on the Philips record label. I think this is the same group that recorded for the DCP International label as the Secrets, and also comes out as the Sharons. But this is earlier in 1965, they were known as the Lavettes, and produced and arranged by Robert Bateman and Robert Mosley. This is from November 65. The Lavettes on Philips. It's called Practice What You've Been Preaching. The Lavettes. Well, you know, Johnny G practice what I preach. I only play original vinyl 45s, none of those stinking MP3s or CDs or cassette tapes, although I have cassette tapes, I do. But anyway, there you go. That is the Lavettes there, November 1965. Yes, Darren sounding kind of Shangri-La-ish, I guess we can say. The Lavettes there on the Philips label, practice what you've been preaching. But Johnny G's getting out of here. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com if you have a request. If you want to tell me that you like the show, I get enough people that tell me they don't like it, but no, that's not true. Maybe I only get one person that only complains about the show, but everybody else is all positive about it. Thank you all for being a part of the show and making this a cool night on a Wednesday night right here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Charlene, a big help with the show, always is a big help with the show, and I couldn't do it without her. But I'll be back next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube and Oldies and More Radio till midnight, and I'll be on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. That's the 1950s and early 60s show, so if you like 50s and 60s vocal group harmony and doo-wop, you want to tune into that show. I play the music by year, chronologically, so the requests are put in that way. Well, that's how I do it. I pull the records out and I put them in year order, and I kind of mix and match them, kind of like what I do with all the shows. Well, not the show I'm doing on Monday afternoon. That's a countdown of records from 1958 on the Relic Survey. So we'll be continuing with that with a little bit longer. But thank you all again for tuning in tonight. We're going to close the show with this 45 I paid a quarter for. It's probably worth a quarter. The singer born in Alexandria, Virginia, but later moved to Washington, D.C. His birth name was Barry Perigoy. Is that how you say it? P-E-R-E-G-O-Y. But he recorded as Barry Darvell. Okay. He recorded on a number of different labels, but here is one on the World Artist label. I think that's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This charted number 25 on WTAC in Flint, Michigan. That's in Darrell's County there. WTAC in Flint, Michigan. It's with Hash Brown and his orchestra, and which was the house band for this label. Reparata and the Delrons, a lot of cool records on this label. But the closers from May 65, Barry Darvell on World Artists. It's called I Found a Daisy. Is that it? Yeah. Johnny G not picking daisies, not yet. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight, and have a safe remainder of the week. Stay cool, and I'll see you next time right here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
City streets don't need the April showers. Sidewalks don't grow any flowers. But let me tell you now, I found a daisy in the city. Right here in this old neighborhood, where the buildings hide the sun, where trains and buses run. I found a daisy. I found a daisy in the city. Daisy in the city. A girl as lovely as her name. Though she grew up on the street, she stayed so fresh and sweet. My pretty Daisy, I found her daisy. And when she smiles, spring is in the air. She takes my hand, and I don't have a care. Well, let me tell you now, I found the daisy in the city. Down in the streets, I picked a flower. There'll be a garden here as long as she stays near. I found a daisy. I found my daisy in the city. I found my daisy in the city.